Hi, I'm Mike Bronson. I'm an anesthesiologist and the CEO and founder of AnesthesiaGo. AnesthesiaGo was designed to disrupt the daily scheduling process for anesthesiologists. We wanted to make the process easier. We wanted to make it be completed quicker. We wanted to be able to do the schedule more efficiently and with less human errors. And to do this, we're going to bring two main components into our platform. One is your caseload for the next day. So all of your cases at the hospital or multiple hospitals, surgery centers, outside locations. We're going to bring those into the system via two different types of methods. One is an automatic method where that information is automatically put into our system and extracted. The key information is extracted to follow each group's individual rules. The other method is to manually input cases. If a surgery center or an outside location doesn't have the ability to give us that feed, we will be able to manually input that information and designate the key specifiers so we could follow each group's rules. The next piece of the puzzle is the anesthesia provider list. So who's working the next day, what the call order is. We're going to have that information in our system. And we're going to bring these two pieces of information together through our algorithm and produce what we feel is the most functional schedule based on those cases and based on those providers working the next day. Now, at this point, the user has the ability to make any edits they'd like to make on the screen. And we've made it user-friendly enough so you could easily drag and drop a case to another provider if you so wish. We've locked the vertical time axis, so there's no worry about inadvertently messing up the assigned time. We're also going to alert you if you're trying to make an error or a poor assignment during that process. So if you try to put a patient in a case with a anesthesiologist that's requesting a nerve block and the anesthesiologist doesn't do nerve blocks, it's going to alert you to that error and let you override it if you wish, but it'll try to make sure that you're not trying to create unfavorable pairings. At this point, if the user is happy with the end product, they could click a button and this will be immediately available to the group, to the charge nurses, to the secretaries, to whoever needs to see that final version of the anesthesiologist schedule. Now, when we automated this, we looked at 10 key components that we factored in and to produce the best schedule. One is a specialty requirement. So if your group covers pediatrics, regional, cardiac, it's going to take that into account and make sure it schedules the appropriate providers on the appropriate cases. Similarly, your group may cover many different locations and not everyone may cover the same locations. And so it will make sure that it assigns people only to locations that they are able to go to. Those higher up on the call list will get the more complex cases. And likewise, they'll get the longer call schedules as well. And so you'll see a tapered edge as you move down from the top to the bottom, where the number one person will have the longer room and the bottom person will have the shortest room. If there's any shift work at your group, so if you have a CRNA, locum tenens, independent contractors that work within a defined shift, it's going to schedule within that shift and not outside of that shift. If there's any drive time that needs to be accounted for between locations, so if you're going from the surgery center to the hospital or vice versa, and it's more than a 10-minute travel time and you need to get in the car to do that, it's going to factor in the drive time needed to go from location A to location B and make sure it doesn't assign a case before you're physically able to be there. If there's any meetings, it'll schedule around those meetings so we're able to get that provider at that meeting and still keep them productive with cases before and after. Some locations may require PACU responsibility or time after that last case ends of the day before that patient's safe to be discharged from that location. So if that's the case, we could factor in that time and not allow it to schedule a provider to go to a different location before that PACU time has been fulfilled. If there's a case to follow in the same room or with the same surgeon, it's going to keep that anesthesiologist in that room or with that same surgeon traveling from the hospital to the surgery center to maximize efficiency. And lastly, if the surgeon has a panel of anesthesiologists he or she prefers, or a panel of anesthesiologists that he or she does not prefer, it's going to preferentially schedule the anesthesiologist with the surgeon that they like, and it will make sure it does not schedule an anesthesiologist with a surgeon if they've been negatively requested by that surgeon. Now, when we built AnesthesiaGo, the goal was to benefit the end user, which was the daily schedule maker. But we quickly found out that there were some other people that benefited from more efficiency as well. So the board runner is going to be the person running the ship the next day, and they're going to handle the add-ons, the cancellations, the delays, and they're going to be presented with this color-coded map before the day starts, so they know where their gaps are. They know when they could fit cases in, and help them manage the day. Everyone's going to get an individualized schedule, so no need to search through the hundreds of cases your group may cover to look for your specific name. It's going to tell you based on your call order where you're going to go at any point during the day. We're going to save all of the data that we input into the system, and so you're able to pull any type of case report that you wish to see based on whatever variable or variables you want to factor in when generating those reports. Everyone's going to have the opportunity to look at their own individualized stats. And in our test group, we've seen that people like to see where they've been and what kind of cases they've done and how long their days have been scheduled for. So every individual anesthesiologist or anesthesia provider has the ability to generate their own scheduling stats. We're going to save all those schedules as well, so you can easily go back and retrieve previous schedules. And the main one for me was the analytics section. There's a lot of data, a lot of key data that we were losing and throwing away with prior methods. And so now we're going to capture that data and we're going to reproduce it in a customizable dashboard. So the users, the presidents, the board of directors, they have the ability to look at this data on a daily basis and make higher level decisions, such as how many providers to schedule each day of the week based on historical volume. Thank you.